Good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:02, January 9th, 2018. So I've got a long trade in XNET today, I think 2098. Anyway, the 4-hour chart, there are the quads here set up on the fib retracements, and trade is right at a quad wall right now. It just got popped up over, but that's not unusual, and especially in a bullish scenario. And so anyway, I charted the quad for that specific intraday time frame. So I'm just going to zoom in there. So we have our fib levels. So this is where it popped up here just in the last few minutes, and now it's come off. So that quad wall is major resistance. Support is at 2179-ish. Not that it can't lose that support, especially with a fairly aggressive stock like this. If it does lose it, I would expect a touchdown to this bottom quad wall, and then bouncing in here and possibly up to this target for January 22nd at 2503. So it's about 11, 12, 13 days away. There's a target at the bottom quad at 1204 I don't expect to see. This one here, though, at the mid quad, so the horizontal support line of the 4-hour quad at 1834 is possible. I mean, it could slide, through and down into there and even bounce or go sub. But I'm expecting this target or mid quad and up into the next target. Very best scenario is this particular target up here at 3788. Now this was a chart on the fly, so you got to take it with a bit of grain of salt. Yeah, oil. In fact, oil is right near its target for today. It's doing well, that's for sure. That model is really messy from the holidays, but it's trading through that freaking model, even though it's a mess. But yeah, oil looks fantastic. So the other trade I took was an SLCA. It's on the weekly, just above its 50 right now. It's being tested by the 100 and above its 200. MACD trending, squeeze momentum up, stock RSI cranked back up at the top. But anyway, it's a testing zone. The way that it's traded symmetrically, it may come off some. But this is my play in that sector-ish. KODK halted, yeah, seen that. It's endless craziness actually in that whole bit. And then of course my other small holds, there's no big news there. I've got a 1/10 size in gold short. It's off on the day. I've got small positions in AAOI and SPPI. SPPI is up on the day, AOI is off. Those two I've talked about for so long that I'll just mention them once in a while. When I figure they've made their turn, I'll be entering into them. SPPI maybe not, but AOI for sure when it makes its turn. And OMVS, I'm holding a very tiny position from last year, and I think those are all my positions. So my biggest eyeball watch is on XNET intraday. I was just about to start executing more longs here, and then it backed off. So I'm just going to zoom in a little more here. What actually happened was I got disciplined about the second tent I was going to add in. And I went to a 1-minute and a 5-minute chart with the MAs, and my apologies, sneezing. I went to a 1 and a 5-minute chart, checked the MAs, checked where the price was, checked the stock RSI, and the stock RSI was revved on the 1 and 5, and that's just not the best time to take a long. And sure enough, it turned off right after. So I'll just look at another monitor here. XNET on the 5, stock RSI is getting down near the bottom. Preferably you want the MACD and stock RSI at the bottom I'm turning back up. Intraday at least on the 5-minute if you can. And I'm also watching, I won't bring up the charts because I published that swing report this morning. And if you don't have the swing report, just go to Compound Trading's Twitter feed, and it's on there. And it had a number of decent trades. Some of the newer swing trades, SLCA, that's one, and I've shown you that chart. EOG is testing 52-week highs, really bullish. I like the chart. RSX, Russian ETF. There's things in that chart I like, we'll see. BOFI, things in that chart I really like. I was going to execute on BOFI this morning, didn't. I chose SLCA instead. Now oil is up into resistance clusters, so caution. Bitcoin trading 14,841. I had a mid-quad support for the time cycle peak as of today. Support registered mid-quad at 13.8, and it hit that late yesterday, and today's trading 14,841. We'll see how that goes. Now I'm quoting XBT USD, by the way. So those are some of the items on the top of my mind. Oh, that's an aggressive bullish candle on the 5-minute, or that's a 4-hour candle, sorry. That's a bullish candle forming there. We'll see how that expires. Oh, it's not even 10 minutes old though. So it's got a long ways to go. Very bullish though, because it pounded up over the quad end through a fib and then came back off. So definitely bullish activity in the mid quad here. This green, double green line, it didn't get to it and it went again. So those are things on the mind. The S&P targets are, so this is, you know, crazy bullish. So it flew through its quad here. It got to the mid quad target early, which puts it in more bullish than normal. Well, bullish bias. The target was for 3 o'clock. It passed the mark right in around 11:30, and now it's on its way to. It hardly stopped at the test fib here, and now it's on its way and hit the next mid quad up. If it blows through a second one today, man, that'll be real interesting. Anything under this quad here, 275.03, I'd be extremely cautious about time cycles in the markets. We're at a peak right now, and if the markets don't prove over their most immediate resistance zones, you could see a pullback in the markets. Now, if it proves over top of the resistance zones and keeps going, that'll be extraordinarily bullish. So SLCA is my way to play the, well, the industrial materials area. XNET is my crypto IT blockchain play. S&P I was going to enter, didn't, should have, and then the other ones I've discussed. So let's go through what's going on the day here quick. If you have any charts you'd like to share with the team, put them in. So INSY, by the way, this is 1/10 position. If it doesn't hold this 200 on the daily chart, I might cut it. Fortunately, it's a small position, and my other positions are making up for it today. But and you know, it's probably going to end up following that 20 anyway. The stock RSI is about to turn back up, that MACD, it's iffy. Iffy. I still like it, but it's pissing me off. Okay, let's go to what's going on here. PTIE, there's KODK. So you can see from the charts that it's just structurally a joke. There's nothing I can give you on this one. It's right up against resistance, doesn't surprise me. Nothing about this place surprises me. But it's not structurally sound for consistent gains. So there's your KODK run up on the news to the 100, MA on the daily, KEN, K-E-N, LTC USD looks strong. That's good. You know, if Bitcoin holds that mid quad support around 13.8, even if it came off a bit under it and took off, because it always seems to overshoot, as long as it's up and over that mark, that's pretty bullish stuff. And it doesn't really turn real bearish until it gets down, like on the intraday, you know, for me to consider it in trouble. Entering bear territory, 98.54 is in the bottom of that quad. It's quite a ways down, but anyway, the 200 MA is catching up. It's at 67.33, so it just may matter. KEN is a trending stock, not something I'd personally get involved in now. It's gone a bit far, and I mean, it took what, 8 quarters or whatever to trend through there. Not that that's bad, but you know, a triple over 8 quarters or whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, you know. Anyway, I likely won't go there. LBCC. Could that one get aggressive? For sure. Just not my bag. TESS, I can take a look at that for sure. CGGG. Here again. Just nothing structural. So I have to admit I did go through these a few minutes ago, and so I'm flying through them because if they're not structural and there isn't, you know, a predictable trade, then why would I encourage you toward it? ALDR. So this is day 2 above its 200 MA on the daily. It squeezed momentum. The one down at the bottom is trending. MACD's trending. Stock RSI is trending. Of the ones that I've looked at so far, not a bad chart. Now, it sure is reminiscent of INSY, and look at what INSY is doing today. Not that INSY is in trouble yet, but ITUS. So here again, the structure of the chart's not my favorite. These come in themes, right? The movers. This particular theme is a tough theme to trade. I mean, if you're a pro, you're a really good day trader, you can trade through it. But MMAC, I was looking at early on, trending stock on the daily. Same idea. It's going to come back to the MAs and get a pop, or I'm not interested in it. That happens, and typically it's going to come back and meet your MAs. GBT, so super bullish, looked at it earlier, even considered a possible trade, and I still might. I can't give you the technical setup because this is just structure. It's a structure setup. So in other words, the instrument itself doesn't have a lot of history. It worked its way through this quasi gap, worked back down to the 200 and popped, and now it's threatening all-time highs. Chances are very good to the bull's favor, but of course not absolute. ABAX, it's got lots of Momo too. I've never traded this. Huh. Yeah, there's not a lot I can give you here. I mean, it is over the 200. It might prove up. Hard to say. ATES or US. So you see, you know, no history, blah, blah, blah. But could get serious. XNET, that's our trade. So without the model, that's what it looks like. And sure enough, that stock RSI, even on the dailies, jammed right up. ASND, nice trending stock. Just structurally for me, not right, but you know, a lot of people it would be. If you are going to take a long trade, try and exercise patience until it hits one of the MAs and bounces. The bounce is the important part, and then go. ACER. So, yeah, what's up against resistance? Again, same thing. It is over its 200. MACD is trending. Squeeze momentum is trending. It's just the structure is not good. CAMT trending stock bounces off its MAs very nicely. The rest of the chart sets up really nice. It's trending stock, so you got to be hyper careful. But it's not a bad stock. It's been trending for a while, and it likely will continue to. The challenge, of course, is that the low side is down in that 520 range before you get to the 200. But nice chart. Not my style, so I'm not going to record it. But NETE, so many people talking about this morning. The problem with it is it's just not going to hold its gains. I'm convinced. I won't even explain all the reasons why. JP, this is one on my watch list. I was going to execute this morning, didn't, and I'm okay with that. I might end up in a long trade here though once this 20 MA concludes, which would put it around tomorrow morning, maybe the next day. BOMN getting up into its 200 or 20 MA test. Again, no history, just trending. That one's not my favorite at all. ASAU, same thing, no history, worked its way up through its MAs. So this is actually really bullish. It gets up over its resistance area, 230 to 250, and you're probably going to see quite a return. That one structurally is not too bad. It's not the best. And GSUM, just a dog, and no history of the chart. So you see how they come in themes? It's amazing how the markets work that way structurally. So there's really no charts to really go over other than the ones that were in that swing report last night, and you can go get that on the Compound Trading Twitter feed. If you need the password, it is I think it's swing wow, SWINGWOW, all capitals. And there's a number of setups in there, and they're really quite good. So this is nice. So you see how the tail of that candle is hanging below that quad wall? Very structural. And the fact that the inverse side of the tail, the top of the wick of the candle up here is the candle body is above that quad. That just means it's bullish to the bullish side, and how it overshot here. But it has to prove out, so we'll see where this lands. But I really like the trade. Okay, and then we've got Surf Trader TESS. Let's take a look. I don't think I've traded TESS. Definitely bullish. There's no doubt about that. On the daily, so you got, over the 200. So it took launch at the 200, got to the 20 bounce, 20 bounce. Nice surf trade. 1, 2, 3. So your 3 in, the 100 has come, so basically your 20s through the 200, your 50s through the 200, your 100s through the 200. And sure enough, you got 1, 2, 3, and you're into your 4th leg. If you get more than 4 legs here before it before it really gets a test of these MAs, consider yourself lucky. I mean, it could keep going, but the squeeze momentum indicator is starting to trend. Well, it's not trending down. It's relatively weaker than it was, but it's not trending down. Attractive chart though, because it did respect the 200 on the way down. It did get over the 200 the one time, failed and left again, and that's kind of typical. And that's where that double bottom that people reference comes from. Oh, it's right up against natural or historical resistance. There's your issue. That's why it slowed down. So this region here between where it is and 23, 40-ish, 50-ish. Well, actually, it's going to be, yeah, 2170 or so to 2350. In that range is tough resistance. It's at resistance right now, but this whole section here will be tough. Once it gets over it, so call it 2660, it's gone. So you can expect soon, and everything is dependent on price action, right? So it's one thing to have all the clues from the technicals, it's another thing to have the price action to confirm. You can expect a pullback for sure. MACD, if it turns down, I'd get ready for your pullback. Now it's turned down a couple times in here, but overall bullish, very bullish. Yeah, so that was earnings there. So that's the other thing, you got to be careful. So that was an earnings play. May not have been the only reason, but the only catalyst. It's a nice chart though. When this does come off, if it bounces off its MA, and you could always do your fib retracements and stuff on here. It'll probably bounce at its 100. That's my guess. My guess is you might see a little more here. Like you might see up into these previous highs in the 23, it might, right? But then it's going to come off and it'll meet either the 100 or 200 in here somewhere and then go again. That's my guess. Interesting. I wonder, like based on the history here. So yeah, the last time it tested that area, it came off. In fact, it lost the 200. If I was long, I'd be a little concerned about that, but it's one of those things where I don't have it modeled out. The weekly, let's look at the weekly real quick here. Oh yeah, so it does respect the 200 on the weekly. All the MAs on the weekly. That's nice about this. Oh, it totally respects the MAs on the weekly. Nice chart. Oh yeah, good trading. There's your problem. There it is. The daily wick or candle at the end of the day is so important. You see how the body of the candle is right up to the 200 on the weekly, and the wick is above. And you see this one here, this candle, if we zoom in on it, that's your turn. So what you have there is, there's different names for this candle, but what you have there is you have the wick at the bottom and the wick at the top are the same, and you have the candle body here right on that important MA. Anyway, when the wick and the tail are basically the same length with this in the middle, and you can study your candles, there's different names for the setup, but that's usually a turn candle. So normally, like if it's bullish, then it goes into there, and you see that, you're going to retrace normally. Doesn't mean the trends change, just means that you'll retrace. So your retracement on this without me setting up the fibs is going to be it's probably going to sit on that pivot anyway. So I kind of take back what I said before, because you're probably going to pivot down to about 16, 17 bucks on this one. Measure that 20 is coming up too. It's kind of hard to say. 17 something. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so your 20s through. Interesting. Neat chart. Okay. Bold. I wish I had the time to model that one. I might do it tonight. There's lots of symmetry in that chart for sure. Bold. So I watched this one a number of times. Totally guilty of letting it run. 1, 2. Structure of these charts are so cool. So much volume came in here. So your stock RSI on the daily is turning down before it gets to the top, but that's not. MACD's on its way up. Squeeze momentum starting to come off, but not really. Yesterday's candle was bad. See this candle here? Now, it didn't get right to the middle, so your turn down wasn't right to its retracement, but these candles tell you a fair bit, or can. I mean, there's clues in them, right? It's hard to give you anything technical on a chart that's only been around this long. Yeah, very difficult. So there's your 1 hour. That's interesting. Your MACD. Yeah, this is going to be one I think I'm just not going to help with. Very bullish though. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm just not going to be able to help you with this one. So that squeeze momentum's turning red there. I wish I could help more with that one. I can't. There's not much I can do. Yeah. Anything else you guys need at all, or I can help you with? Sorry, today's midday is, basically a write-off. I should have warned you before I even called that we were going to do it. You never know, right? Okay, so let's just look at XNET really quick. So that's structurally sound. That's in a good place. So it might just work its way up, but who knows? There's my target there. And the S&P, let's take a look. It's coming off its resistance there. I sure hope, I mean, it wouldn't be bad if the S&P went back down to 273.46 at this time cycle tomorrow at 11:19 in the morning. Not the best, but as long as it holds at 273.46, the market's still structurally in good shape. It'd be really nice to see it over 275.04. It holds that number, and she's going for a run. Sean is on a flight right now asking me to review GSUM. Sean's on his way to the Caymans. Now, let's see here. GSUM. So GSUM, this is a daily chart. Pokes up over its 200 and falls down. Pokes up over its 200 and falls down. Now, it does have the added bullish tilt in that it's higher lows all the way through that process, but that, I mean, I don't really like it. It's up against resistance, but you know, it's another one of these charts with no history, and this structure can get incredibly bullish incredibly fast. So all you can do with these, it's just this structure. Like whenever you see this overall structure, hasn't been around for a long time, you know, it does this and then it starts to turn. These things, man, they can come right back to where they started like nothing, fast. So, and there's a bunch of them in the market right now. So sorry, Sean, that's the best I can do. I think you're going to get the turn there, but not guaranteed. Up against the 52 on the big fat. That is not bullish. Squeeze momentum's red too, but the MACD's trending, and that's what happens with these. You get a whole bunch of contradictory indicators. So I apologize, Sean. When you watch the video, can't give you a lot on it. Nope, wouldn't trust it, but I think you got a turn. Let's put it that way. CREG, I think Rob's asking me to look at it. And INPX, I think, unless you're just alerting that there's something going on with them in intraday trade or something. Assuming I'm to be looking at it, I'll look at it here real quick. CREG, so, wow, I'm just like tsunamied with charts with no structure, like everywhere I turn right now. There's just, you know, from a structural perspective, nothing I can give you. From a trader's, you know, quick view perspective on CREG, I can say that the MACD's turned, stock RSI's turned down, so you got opposing indicators. I'd be concerned with stock RSI that high on the daily and that price hasn't gone with it. So as the buys have been coming in, the holders have been selling. Squeeze momentum might turn green here. 50 coming through the 20 is not great either. It's backwards. And that 200 is proved to be resistance on the weekly. INPX. The charts right now, man, they are not structural all the way through. Careful, 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 everybody. Weekly. INPX. See, there's nothing there. But what we can do, daily, there's nothing. Yeah, there's just nothing I can give you on that one. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that's it for midday. Thanks for coming out. I'm going to be gone this afternoon, but the room will be open. I'm off for a number of meetings today. And yeah, that's it for the market as far as I'm concerned for the day. I think, see how far off I am on SLCA. So I'm almost back to my buy. XNET, well over my buy. I'll take a quick peek here. If I was sticking around for the afternoon, I'd probably start hammering. Yeah, I'd start hammering in long on this, adding to my position. It's proven up over here. That's the cradle of the apex. Nice play. Cool. So I'm gonna leave the S&P on because you guys will need to know where it sits in there. And yeah, have a great afternoon, evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.